Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ken Adams, and I'm the Artistic Director of Synergy Theater. And I am also the Director of Education for Synergy Theater's School of Improvisation. And this is a very exciting and very exceptional day because this is our presentation of our Advanced Improvising Shakespeare class. So you might be watching us on YouTube, you might be watching us on Facebook, wherever you are watching us, thank you for being here. It is awesome to have you here. The students in our Advanced Improvising Shakespeare class have been working on learning the style of William Shakespeare and emulating that style in improvisation for 12 weeks now, maybe even more. Let's say 16 weeks now. Holy moly, we've been at this for a while, and we are so delighted now to come to you with a completely improvised one-act play in the style of William Shakespeare. So I am going to make up a title for the play. The performers have never heard this title before, so it will be completely improvised. And then we are going to take it away. So thank you for being here. Sit back and relax and enjoy our show. We're going to start with one character coming on screen and waiting until the suggestion is given in order to start improvising. So can I have one person pop on screen right now, please? All right, or two people, perfect. You two stay right there. I'm going to disappear. You two freeze in a nice tableau. I will give the title and then we will take it away. So I am out of here. Here we go. My friends, please enjoy the brand new William Shakespeare play, The Song of Life. Act 1, Scene 1, in the scullery.
Oh, Melinda, thou art my true friend from early childhood, though our stations different be. Today I thought to be a bride, but my groom has failed to come. I am led to the altar and failed to be wed. I am discarded. I am broken-hearted.
Oh, Lady Persephone, I have heard that many men are not worth worrying about. And thou art so good, so kind, so sweet, so noble. Any man would be lucky to have you to hold.
Sir Fredrand failed to come. He plighted to me his troth. He gave to me this ring, and yet I stand at the altar. I stood at the altar an hour past the time to be wed, and now I fear my life is over. I am shamed. To a nunnery I must go, or perhaps a scullery. I am shamed and I am discarded.
My lady, perhaps 'tis maybe just a stone in the shoe of his horse, or his horse put its hoof in a rabbit hole and did fall over and he fell off and is terribly injured lying somewhere, hoping that you'll come by, or mayhap brigand set upon him in the forest, or mayhap he suddenly remembered an appointment he had somewhere else. There could be a reason, my lady. Do not perhaps, sweet Lady Persephone, do not perhaps give up upon him, although he might yet be worthless.
Melissa, thou art wise, though scullery maid thou be. Come with me, let us into the forest away, and seek on the path where my dear Ferdinand was to have come, and let us find him, for he may in trouble be, he may in need of succor be, and we can provide that, and then I can be wed, and thou my true chamber lady shall be.
Yes, my lady, I will pack a basket with everything.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 2, the forest.
Likely knowing where we go, as a fairy I do know, here are flowers lovely be. as you see. What a great place to be.
Tatiana, your voice is like the music of the most melodious birds. My heart expands to encompass you. Please.
Tana, you have the wisest words that have ever been spoke.
Well, it's easy to be inspired by the voice of angels pouring from your throat.
But look, we see.
My lady, methinks we should not be seeing this in this
Indeed,
the forest.
we must disguise ourselves. Yes, poor and humble shall we be, and find out who these people are that sing in the forest so strange and sweetly.
I think we should go hide off to the side where no one can see us.
We shall go behind that very large tree and see what we can hear and what we can spy out as they speak. Let us go, Melinda.
Tatiana,
Yes.
I heard rustling in the forest. Didst thou not say that this would be a secret rendezvous?
Aye, Gwendolyn, that I did say.
We thought it was secret.
Yes, I hope to sing
importune
everyone
my lady
away.
to loosen her stays and lay her head upon my shoulder.
If this forest doth have ears, then it behooves us to kill those that hear our plans. Thou knowest this. Grab thy swords and be ready.
Aye, for people will be surprised to find me as with a sword, for my voice is high and my body belie what a sword might hide.
Thou art so aggressive in your efforts to maintain a secret. Perhaps we need not kill them. Perhaps we should persuade them.
As guardians of the royal sword, thou dost weaken in our moments of near victory, for surely thou dost want to reclaim the sword.
Aye, Gwendolyn, that is true. Of course we do. We, the troll and I, are not as strong as you. We are enjoying music more than war. And in fact, we fight the war we abhor.
She is
Thou
correct.
dost speak the truth, Tatiana, and thou dost indeed have magic spells. And so doth thou dost, Portio, thou dost bring insight and movement of the heart.
I would like the sword back, however. It was a family treasure, and I feel sore bereft without it on my side.
Yes,
But perhaps
thy sword we must reclaim, for that, in fact, will give us fame.
indeed it will.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 3. Another section of the forest. Melinda and her lady are present.
They are knaves.
They said they would kill us.
They
Kill
said
us,
they
my
would
lady.
kill us. We must not be seen. We must find protection, and we must find the good Lord that we seek, or return to the palace, for we are but maids. We are not strong. We are weak.
We have the strength of women, my lady, and that is a strength to have. We can shriek if needed. We can stamp our feet.
We can stamp our feet. We can stick out our pretty little tongues and say, "Thou mayest not." Is that not true?
No, we can bat our eyelashes and blink and blink until a man is fascinated and falls into the trap of our womanly wiles.
We can turn our shoulders and imply what lies beneath, for we have sweet flesh with which we may entice. But what if we come upon a woman malevolent rather than a man, for whom our wiles will have no meaning, for she hath the same?
My lady, thou had led a gentle life.
Indeed. And thou?
I have led the life of a scullery maid.
Indeed. Indeed. And what does
Where we doth sleep, tend to a bed.
tend to a bed? Thou art never cold.
Nay, we are never cold. My lady,
Yes.
doth thou think
Yes.
your Lord Ferdinand hath fallen prey to these creatures of the forest?
Oh, a fearsome thought that rends my heart in twain. Thou hast spoken a thought that tears me in two. I may not be whole again until I see him. Oh, let us find him. Let us away.
He might have fallen prey to the falling in a ditch on the road outside the village. He might not be in the forest at all.
Melinda, methinks thou dost dissemble. Thou knowest something, thou tellest me not. Thou hast a secret. It is not clear that thou hast indeed an innocent heart. Thou knowest something of my love, and yet thou tellest me not.
My lady, I must confess, you, my most beautiful lady, my most wonderful lady, my most wise and good and sweet and kind lady.
I am all these things. Say thou.
Most merciful lady. I have heard that there are woodsmen in this forest. Strange woodsmen.
Strange woodsmen.
That
And what of my prince these woodsmen have to do? Speak on, and speak thou not in greasy dissemblement, but speak thou true.
They might, my lady, have delayed him in some way. I know not of these strange woodsmen who are men, but not men.
Men, but not men, thou knowest.
Woodsmen,
And thou
but not
tellest
woodsmen.
me not. These are fairy men, these are troll men.
Don't say that word. They hate that word above all the words. Never, my lady, never say the F, never say that.
The F word? That
No.
is the meaning of the F word that is forbid?
Have thou not heard Father Hendricks talking about it on Sundays?
Hendrik said, must never fairy word be said?
No, but say it again, my lady.
I say it only to check, for I do hear a rustling in the air. Cometh something through the air that should be haps on foot, but is not, is on wing? Look, look.
Pick up your skirts and
Hide yourself.
Stay, you! Come before my wings.
Oh,
Thou good-winged creature.
Knowest thou that I am of that race that doth the sky turn blue each morn, the trees pull from the rocky shore, the grass be green with magic paint? I am Mortical, the fairy king.
Mortical, you are wise, and thou hast vision wide. Tell me, Mortical, hast thou seen a young prince with curls of blondness that to his shoulders flow, on a horse as black as night, who came in wedding raiment to the palace yonder? Hast seen him?
Be this the mortal swain that doth with each breath sing love's refrain?
Yes, yes, it be he. Tell me, where is he, that I may to him go, his betrothed wife, that he may surely know.
Then knowest thou this. This same Ferdinand hath been by the queen herself requested to deliver unto his bride's family the holy sword of Zane. Yet he failed in his quest. The sword of Zane hath been stolen by one Portio, and that same Portio, leader of the wooded brigands, didst kidnap this Ferdinand, and even now doth hold him prisoner in their den.
Then rescue him we must. That sword was to have been my bride price. He was to bring it to me, present it to my father, and then take me to wed, and thence to bed. And yet he is enthralled in the snare of Portio, thou tellest me.
Portio be a devil in human skin. Thou must exercise great caution, for against his wiles one rarely may win.
Thou must assist us. Oh, he's gone, and now what do we do?
My Lady Persephone, 'tis as if we have fallen into a tale. One of those stories that sounds so delightful when one listens beside the fire on a cold winter's night, and they tell the tale of the great forest Mordecai and the thieves and it's nay so much fun when one finds oneself in the middle of it.
Nay, so much fun when it is cold and dark and dreary, and there be dangers at every hand. No, not so much fun. How shall we manage? We need a strong hand to guide us.
We have strong hands, my lady.
I have not strong hands. I have delicate, tiny little white hands with long nails.
I have seen thou embroidery, my lady. I have seen you pull the thread of gold through the heavy canvas cloth. Thy hast cunning fingers, my lady. Thy needle is like a tiny sword that might stab.
Not only that, my needle has been blessed by my fairy godmother, Melisenda, that in time of need it may deliver strength and poison if called upon to do so.
My lady?
I put it here, threaded through my bodice, and now off we go to find my prince.
Let us find him.
Blackout, Act 1, Scene 4, the hideout of Portio and his gang. Portio holds the legendary sword of Zane.
And here is the legendary sword, which I have purloined from Ferdinand the weak and incompetent. And he lies barely conscious in the hut, and I shall assume his life and perhaps hasten his death.
I am with glee, for thou hast exchanged thyself from a weakling to a strong person, someone who does not want to fight to someone who does, and I can follow your lead.
Release me, you vagabonds. Come, cut these cords. Persephone, she waits for me.
She waits for no one, for you shall not see her again in this life, and perhaps not in the next life either, for thou dost not deserve a maid so fair, so patient, and so accommodating. Thou must stay in this hut, and thou shalt stay until your life has been shut.
Yes.
Portio, thou art pathetic. Thou dost undermine the power of love. For Lady Persephone, I know that she shall come with me, and she shall release me, and no sword of Zane, no evil plans will ever overcome her.
I hear the voice of my love, and he is in sore distress. He is held by men and women, evil and vile, and he waits for rescue. There are none but we, fair Melinda, to rescue him, and yet I have naught but my wiles, my stamping of foot, my blinking of eye, and my enchanted needle. Are you ready?
Do I not hear the mellow tones of Lady Barman here? Here I am.
I do hear them, and not like it not.
Before I have tickled thee with my blade.
Avante, wretch! For I am the love of Lord Ferdinand's life and the rescuer, and I would be not only rescuer, but wife. And with that sword that belongeth to thee not, I will encounter thee with a needle through which with poison is shot.
Oh,
I dart it!
My lady! No, my lady!
oh, it is but a tiny prick, and yet it burns. It burns as though a piece of the sun had landed on my person and was creating a conflagration of pain and heat and and fatigue.
Portio, grab onto my shoulder. We will off be. Come, we will off be.
Tatiana, take the sword.
Throw down the sword, which to my father doth belong.
I will take the sword, and we will off be, for I know a we that can help thee. Come.
Take me.
Just they flee, then fly, then. Oh, my lady.
I'm here.
Oh, Ferdinand, let me unbind thy hands.
My lady, don't that Portio look strange familiar to you?
Does he? I had thought he a bit familiar too, but I spent not time in regarding him, for I saw my love in dire need. Tell me what thou hast seen and thought of this Portio person.
He reminds me much of a man I have seen before.
Yes.
Mayhap I'll remember later. Oh, here is your love. I suppose you should be not alone with him, my lady.
I think if being alone with him were to happen, 'twould not be unwelcome. Dost thou not have a call of nature unto which thou must attend?
I might have a call of nature upon which I might have to attend, but only for 1 minute, my lady.
Thou art
1 minute.
Oh, attend carefully to all that nature doth require, for I with my love a moment too do aspire.
But stop, hark, thy words flow like a lover's, and yet I have been unclasped a mere 7 minutes, and thou talkst with Melinda, thy maiden, about other men, other things. This be not true love. This be, thou seemest to just want a groom, a man for whom to give thee status.
No, dear Lord Ferdinand, I had stood at altar waiting for thy face, thy figure, and thy wisdom so divine. Thou came not near to me, early, late, or anything like on time, and my fair and early childhood friend Belinda and I set out to rescue thee. No man did sally forth. My king sent not his soldiers, but we, in love of thee, I in love of thee, and she in love of me, have sought thee out, and now do seek to understand how couldst thou have been.
Thou mouth flows with a torrent of golden words, but Look at me, my garment be drowned in the soil of the ditch that I've laid upon. I have gashes and blood oozing from me. I have a finger that dangles from my hand, for I have been so mistreated, and thou waxes and wanes about thy disappointment on a wedding day.
I'm coming back.
I fear, Lady Persephone, thou must try harder to woo me, for I be not a man of such fickle whims. I shall away.
Like a whining Wayne, not like a hero bold who hath the world's worst encountered, and he is gone.
Did thou canoodle, my lady? Did thou frolic? Did thou frotter each other against the other?
I had no chance to canoodle. I wanted to canoodle. I was canoodle ready. I had my canoodling mind all prepared. And Frederick began to whine. Fernando began to whine. He began to moan about his gashes and his mud. And he did berate me. And he did insult me, for I was not wooing him enough. And I say, fie on him. He is a knave, not a hero, and I do not want him.
Blackout.
Lady.
Act 1, Scene 6. Melinda alone outside. Enter the Fairy King. You there!
Mordecai.
You see how all is in disarray, and your lady's love has run away.
I, great forest lord, thou mighty wings to the beat like that of an eagle that swoops from a mountain peak to capture a maiden's heart. Thou see everything that goes on in your forest.
I do, and this I know, the world shall live in strife and pain until your lady retrieves the sword of Zane.
Mordecai, I fear my lady her heart doth no longer turn to Lord Ferdinand. He doth unimpress her with his unmanly behavior.
This breach between them be but a symptom of the disease. Find thee that sword, give that sword into its rightful hand, and love and peace shall rule the land.
But I am but a simple maid. I know how to churn the butter so that it is sweet and yellow. I know how to leave the bread in the sun so that it doth rise delicious and crusty. I know many things, but I do not know how to reconcile a woman who hath fallen out of love with a man.
Then into thy heart thou must peer, and all your strength you will find there.
Oh. This is much for a maid to bear. That I should be the one on whom the happiness of the kingdom doth depend is a strange pass. I must go and check my basket and see if there is something to bring back love that hath begun to fade.
Blackout, Act 1, Scene 7, Portio in his lair with the sword of Zane and his brigands.
Tatiana, I find that I can't see you, and yet I must express myself, for having seen the Lady Persephone, I find my heart is drawn to her, and I must see her again, although I thank thee for healing me from the poison needle.
You are welcome. Of course, for as comrades, we must help one another, but you have fallen in love. Oh, this is something that I did not expect. What
No.
wilt thou? For I can perhaps change her and ask her, instead of going in one direction, to come to you.
Come
Perhaps
to me, and I am holder of the sword of Zane, and should she choose me, her efforts will not be in vain, but they shall save the kingdom, and also make my heart as full as a moon could be.
I will disguise myself as a lady, and I will beseech her to come to you. I will tell her, I know whoest has the sword, and that be true.
And this sword I shall share with her, and other swords may I shall share with her, should she just be sure to put her needle back in her bodice.
I will disguise and be away, and I will find her this very day.
I trust you absolutely, and I shall wait patiently here, dreaming of true love and the sword returned to Lady Persephone by me.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 7. A road in the forest. Enter Melinda and Lord Ferdinand.
Oh, my lord.
You may rise.
I-
It be a cold, dark night for a maiden unprotected to be roaming through a forest like this. What be thy business?
I have come to seek you, my lord. I have come to tell thee that my lady, though she, in truth, she is full of maidenly fear of manly vigour, and hath pushed you away, but secretly she doth wish to embrace you.
Thou comes with guidance of the heart, dost thou? Lady Persephone, she sent thee hence.
In a manner of speaking, she hath sent me hence. I am here on her business at the very least. And if thou were to present thyself at the castle tomorrow at 6 p.m. In thy finest raiment, and here is some arnica ointment that thou might cover thy bruises, all may be returned to the way it should be. I must only go deeper in the forest and find the stolen sword, and everything will be good in the kingdom again, though I know not how.
But before thou goes thus, the sword, why dost thou need the sword?
The sword is not for me, for a sword is for a man to thrust, but I must get the sword ready for your marital bed. That the king, it's so complicated, my lord, except only that thou must present thyself at the palace looking like a man, and all will be resolved.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 8. The palace. Enter Lady Persephone Portio.
My lady, I present myself to you, and I must confess that I have fallen so in love with thee that my heart will lie and bleed until thou hast agreed that perhaps we jointly could proceed. I have the sword of your family, and I propose a joint enterprise to bring peace to the land and peace to each of us.
Thou hast an impudence that makes the heavens shudder. Oh, Portio, thou art a man, if man thou be, who may not hope those words to utter. Thou art astounding rude, for thou art a knave. Thou hast taken my love from me. Thou hast berated him, and from him taken his sense of manhood, so that instead of strong and upright, he is limp and worthless now. Thou hast my life destroyed. I the bridal weeds will wear, and never unto bridal bed shall I be deployed.
And yet you shall. I have saved thee. I have not injured thee. I have saved thee from a, a lifetime of limpness and incompetence, and I offer thee a true man with a true sword, which thrusts true on all occasions and never misses its mark, and will never forget you, and will never stand you up at the altar. I shall be proud and make thee so happy.
Tell
Thou
me, tell me, Portio, what are the origins from which thou hast sprung? I would know that.
I was not always a bandit and a ne'er-do-well. My family was from the northern part of the kingdom, and we were thrust from our lands by invading foreigners. My blood is as blue as yours, as strong and as well bred as you could hope for. I simply have no money and no land any longer, and yet I have the sword of Zane. It came to me after a vision that said, to put all right, you must employ the sword.
And tell me, Portio, of the blood that runs in thy veins, blue and pure. Tell me, what of thy schooling? How hast thou learned of the world and of the works of men?
Well, I attended university in Italy, and I studied law and philosophy and logic and rhetoric, and thus I wish to have communication with thee so that thou canst see behind the brigand's appearance to the strong and faithful heart that lies inside.
Blackout, blackout, Act 1, Scene 8, the den of thieves. Present are Tatiana, Melinda, and Lord Ferdinand.
You gave him the sword? Why would you do that?
Lord Ferdinand, I am a woman of great kindness, and I can, with thee, help. First, I will mend thy wrists, which have been so bound. And you deserve a someone who is not unkind, who does not go towards the sword or away from the sword, who goes towards one man and away from another man. No.
Tatiana, I hear thee. Maid servant of Lady Persephone, hurry, we must go hence, and we must go. I've changed I believe that Lady Persephone doth love me, and I hear thy words. Let's hurry to the castle quick.
Yep, let's not let these fairies mess their little tinkly fingers in the deeds of men. We must restore things to the way they should be.
I am happy for you, Lord Ferdinand, for you did not succumb to my wiles. You spoke your true heart, and those who genuinely you beguile.
Blackout, back in the palace. At rise, present Lady Persephone and Portio.
Good Portio, thou my heart hast won. Thou hast spoken fair, thou hast brought a lineage noble, despite the appearance of roughness and brigandry. And so, with the sword, and with the lineage and education, ah, Melinda,
Do not be
welcome
distracted,
back.
Lady Persephone.
He's not Portia, a lost nobleman. He's Portia, big keeper from the
Don't
Right, I am here, Lady Persephone. I have dragged myself, wounds and all, and bought some flowers, for I have now seen the true love inside. I have regrets. This Portia, he speaks not the truth.
My lady, do not let yourself be distracted by the lies told by Ferdinand, who is holding flowers in his tiny limp hands and cannot provide you with the necessities of ruling such a beautiful country. And thy maid has been confused by my associate Tatiana.
I wait.
Portia, big keeper.
Melinda.
Was ever maiden so perplexed and so torn twixt two who speak so oppositely? I would ask a question of each of you, and thou must tell me true. Whoever speaks the truest and the wisest, I will wed. Thou, Portia, with the sword may be the king, and thou, Ferdinand, with the limp and tiny flowers may be that thing. So here is the task. I ask thee in song and rhyme to tell me who made the world and why. But briefly, for we have little time. Portia first.
Oh, Persephone, you look out on the kingdom. What do you see, my love? You see that I will ring you. We shall be happy, we shall have the power of the sword, and you will love me back, and we will ne'er be bored.
Ah, well done, Lord Portia. And now, Ferdinand, tell me in rhyme and time who made the world and how this shall end.
The world was made with love, with fig trees and a dove. It was made for us to all have fun and play and make babies in the sun. Lady Persephone, please, will you be my darling maiden wife?
Oh, Melinda, what sayest thou? Advise me from the wisdom of the servants' quarters where life is so raw and so available.
My lady, your father is a wise man, and he did wish you to marry Lord Ferdinand. Portia Pigkeeper is not a wise man. He doth have a sword that is not his own to wield. I bet he doth not even know what is written on the inside of the sword.
And yet I do. And with it, it says, "This sword shall strike down any who try to interfere in its power for good." And I believe thou canst not speak so clearly should you have a mouth below your chin.
No.
I shall poke you with this sword and only use the pointy end to drive you from this place, and hush your mouth.
Thou hast sealed the fate. Give me the sword, put it in my hand, and now I will decide.
I will hand you the sword if we may hold it together.
No, I will decide. Thou hast been given a task, and so has Lord Ferdinand, and now it is mine to decide. I am she who will make this choice. Give me the sword.
My lady Persephone, thou hast such wisdom and cunning and good sense, and you are so perceptive. I know you will make the right choice.
Indeed, I will, and now I shall make my pronouncement known. Thou, Portia, hast won my heart, but thou hast spoken ill to my childhood friend, and in friendship will I her defend. Ferdinand, thou art weak and whiny. Thou art a nobly born complainer. And so I would have the sword which my father has sought for the good of the kingdom, and neither one of you. I will await a suitor more suitable to me before I give myself to him and wedded be.
Oh no!
Blackout, our final scene outside underneath a moon. Melinda and Tatiana shall end our play.
Oh, what has happened and proceeded was a surprise that none would suspect.
Thou might come back another time. She'll be hers and thou be thine. But still, we live without the fairies.
Yes, off we go into where not we know, for that is what happens when you end a show.
Oh.
Blackout, end of play. That was awesome. Let's bring all of our performers back on screen, please. Thank you all so much for watching our show. What a wonderful, wonderful job that was. Let's go around quickly and just say our names for the audience. I'm Ken Adams.
I'm Jane.
Allie.
Elizabeth.
Susan.
And Rima, you were on mute when you said
Rima,
your name.
I
so
was on
say your
mute,
name
and I
again.
am Rima.
All right, excellent job. Well, on the count of three, let's take a great big bow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is Synergy Theater School of Improvisation. Farewell, everybody, and we will see you next time.